What's up, guys? On this week's show, may the force be with you always.
And you can't play me?
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and with me is my co-host, DJ Melly Mel.
Hey!
Before we get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media, whatever you choose to do. Just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at GiantLeap4 Geeks. You can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver. What you been doing? Yeah.
Let's see. What did we do this week? We had a Halloween party at the house. That was exciting,
you did.
and you were not there.
Damn, you didn't call me out and shit. Yes, I was
We
not
were
there.
missing in action.
Yes.
But, I mean, it was a good turnout. I had some friends come down, and they brought their kids, so that was round one of everybody running around the house, and then more people kind of showed up, and then my friends left, and then we had some of T-Money's friends show up, so that was like more running around, so it was good.
Nice.
We had a house full of people and table full of food, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not the biggest Halloween person.
As you said.
Actually decorating for the thing was quite daunting for me, but it was cool. I made my costume, and I made T-Money's costume, and we even dressed up Daisy, so she got to participate in the fun. I made a little best costume trophy.
I saw that.
So
yeah.
that was pretty cool. I think we're going to start doing it on a yearly basis kind of thing. Next year, I'll put more planning into it.
Make it an annual tradition.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Even though you don't like Halloween?
I don't like Halloween, and it kind of worked out that we did it the weekend before Halloween.
Sure.
So I've already started to take down all of the Halloween decorations. I've left up enough in the front room so that when we get trick-or-treaters, they'll see something scary, but after that, like, I'm done. Soon as the last candy's passed out, I'll be like, all right, take the shit down because I'm done.
Right, turn these motherfucking lights off, unplug this bullshit.
Yep. Halloween's not my holiday, but, I mean, it's all right.
I feel you.
So, what about you? What have you been doing?
Well, I did go to a Halloween party. Not your Halloween party, but I did
see
go
how
to
it
one.
is.
Oh, whatever. You knew I was going to another one. No, I had made prior engagements, and so we did go to a Halloween party. Now I'm surprised you didn't bring it up, but you know, this is our second year on the podcast.
It is.
And we are starting, or continuing, I guess, our tradition of we dress up in costumes the week of Halloween that we record.
Yes.
So this year was no different. Now, I wore this costume as you wore yours to your Halloween party and the one that I went to over the weekend.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Why have more than one?
Right. Costume change halfway through the podcast in my other costume. No, so this year you were
I am a Mardi Gras jester of sorts. Anybody who's familiar with the very traditional New Orleans style Mardi Gras, the green, the purple, and the gold, that's pretty much what you can expect from my costume. Beads, feathers, glitter. The Mardi Gras trifecta, if you will.
right. Genuine Nowlands.
Yes. Don't let T-Money hear you say that, because he'd probably punch you in the face or something. But yes, when you hear the word Mardi Gras, I am what you think of. The traditional Mardi Gras, Bourbon Street, beads, all that fun jazz. If you talk to anybody who's from Louisiana, then this might not be something that's... It's more commercialized than anything else.
No, it's like in Back to the Future 3 when Marty is going back to the Old West and he goes to that, like, souvenir shop and he gets that corny ass cowboy get up and shit when he gets to the pass. Like, what the fuck is you wearing?
That's pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. But
I had fun. I actually made my costume, so I had fun with that. And it's something that I can hold for any future Mardi Gras that we go to.
Right. And multi-purpose.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I like to make more than one purpose for things.
Sure.
Get more than one use out of them. So
no, don't blame you. Yeah.
Why not?
No, and I was Dexter, or am Dexter, from the hit Showtime TV series Dexter. If you want to see what our costumes look like, go follow us on Instagram. Look for One Giant Leap for Geeks. We will be posting a picture of us in our Halloween costumes on Instagram. So go there and you'll check it out. And you'll see the horrible wig that I found.
I think you're 2 years running now.
I know, my wigs are always bad, but this one's especially bad. It was the best I could do on short notice because I did not know what I was going to be for Halloween. I had a bunch of different ideas that all kind of fell apart at the last minute.
Fair enough.
And so I came up with this the day before the Halloween party. So
at least this year, last year you had shaved the day before we did the podcast.
I almost did this year, but I was just I don't want to shave.
I'm really glad that you didn't.
Yeah.
It looked a little funny last year.
That's my face.
I know. No, it just with your wig and your costume last year. I don't know the character, so I don't know if he has facial hair or not.
Sure.
But it just, I see you on a weekly basis, and then and then some in your pictures and whatnot, Facebook, and I am used to you with facial hair, and when you shave it all off, it kind of takes me back. It's like when T-Money shaves it off, he'll wear a beard for a month and a half and then bam, nothing. I'm like, wait, you shaved. So
I feel like you're making fun of my face.
I am not making fun of your face. You know that I enjoy your face. Yes. So,
but no, so we dressed up, as our characters and stuff and all that fun stuff.
We'll probably put it on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Probably.
Twitter, Instagram, probably Facebook.
Page, yeah.
Those seem to be the three that we...
Yeah, the social media trifecta, if you will. But, other than that, I'm off for my week from work, and I've not been feeling very well, the last, 2-3 days. I've had, no energy and just been kind of laying around the house, just eating, crap. I was I'm going to be going to the gym, and I'm going to get
Why
back
is
on
it
track,
every time I come over here, you don't feel good?
Yeah, I know. I'm I don't know what it is. And it was funny because they were making fun of me at work, and they were like, yeah, you're going to be off and you're going to be sick the whole time. And
they tell you that all the time.
And sure enough, I'm not feeling too hot. So I almost didn't want to record this week because I was just I just don't feel like it. But I'm pushing through, so we're going to make it happen.
We'll cut short. We'll be all right.
All right. But other than that, that's been pretty much my week in a nutshell.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
We have an update as of editing this. A-Train's mother has the flu, which means A-Train probably has the flu. Which ultimately means Mike has the flu.
We have our final trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And
I'm sorry.
The name
I
is
can't.
Stupid. The name is dumb.
I've been telling you since the beginning that that name is garbage.
It's not good. No, it's dumb. But I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm not raging against it. I'm not super hyped. I'm just disappointed.
It leaves a weird taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I felt the same way about this as I did when I saw the trailer for Dark Phoenix.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just disappointed because I'm after all that, this is it? I'm on
a sidebar, I just watched Dark Phoenix 2 weekends ago, and as disappointed as we were on the show,
Mm-hmm.
that's how disappointed I was in the actual movie.
Oh yeah.
I was just hoping, and
It's like, oh, it's gonna get better towards the end. Just watch. Nope.
just wait. I was waiting for it.
We still got another 20 minutes. It can
Waiting
still
for it.
turn it around.
T-Bunny's like, it really isn't that bad. I said, if it were a different kind of movie, then sure. If it wasn't trying to be X-Men and Dark Phoenix, sure.
Right, especially for the story that they're telling.
Yeah, it could have been a good...
And all the other movies that have built off of this, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a good movie if it wasn't trying to be X-Men, but it was, and it wasn't. It was garbage. Anyways.
But that's I felt the same way as when I watched Dark Phoenix. I just felt disappointed. Like, I don't feel anything like I did when I saw the Endgame trailer.
Right.
Because when you saw that, it's because they're trying to pull on your heartstrings in this. Because, they have that moment where C-3PO, they're like, oh, are you okay? And he's like, I'm just taking one last look, sir, at my friends. And then the music swells and all this stuff. And it's like, the saga ends and all this shit.
If you guys could have seen the biggest eye roll that I just let off of my eyes.
Right. And I'm just like, and this should be like oh my God, like, I can't believe this is it. Like, this is the last time we're going to see these characters together on screen. Like, this is an important moment. Like, when the in-game trailers are coming out, it was like, man, like, this is it. Like, this is the one. Like, they ain't bullshit.
All of us were like, is it really? That's really it? There's really no cutscene? There's really no nothing?
Right, I know, right. Like, this is... And I mean, we didn't know who was going to die or what the circumstances of how it was going to play out, but we knew we were going to lose some of our main characters.
Oh, yeah.
And with this, it's like nothing. Like, I'm like... I got a little nostalgia here and there, like the music comes on and, they show Chewie and R2 and stuff like that. And I see Leia and I'm like, oh, okay. And you hear Luke's voiceover and it's like, yeah. It used to be great, wasn't it? But then, they cut to new characters and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Poe.
You're like, who the fuck are you? And what are you doing here?
The only thing I'm looking forward to that carried on from The Last Jedi is I want to see what happens with Rey and Kylo's relationship. Because I thought that was the one interesting thing that they did was make it to where the villain and the hero have like an attraction to each other.
That's true. That was an interesting...
And I'm like, that's different.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm just like, and like I said, I mean, people were giving me shit for it, but I called it. Like, this whole movie is just going to be it's just going to be retcon the movie. Like, the whole thing is going to either try to explain or undo all the shit that they did in The Last Jedi. Because it's like, Rey has the moment in the trailer. She's like, oh, everyone keeps trying to tell me they know me, but no one does. And it's like, they're only doing that because people were pissed off that they made a big deal about who's Rey's parents in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. It's like, oh, they were just some drunks that just dropped you off on a planet. They ain't nobody special. And then it's like, when people were mad at that, they're like, oh, but is that real? She's like Palpatine's great granddaughter or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's...
The more you talk about this... the more I just keep flashing to that damn Dark Phoenix movie. Like, there's, Retcon City, how much did they try to undo in the Dark Phoenix movie that they're trying to do in the Star Wars movie now? How much, we saw the trailer and we were very disappointed. And we saw this trailer and now we're very disappointed, And, yeah, there's a cool few hints here and there of nostalgia.
Sure.
Which there was in Dark Phoenix.
Sure, yeah.
And then it's garbage. You see this new dynamic of characters and you're just like, I don't care. Because it doesn't work for you.
No, because they didn't do anything to endear us to the new characters.
Right.
I mean, in the first movie, it was like the introduction to them. And the second movie was their opportunity to make us really care about them characters.
And they didn't.
So now going into the third one, it's like, we're going to see them triumph over evil and, close it out. And I'm like, I don't give a shit because anything interesting that you did set up with them, you've already pretty much resolved from the last movie. Like, that's the problem going into this, is that...
Wasn't the last movie supposed to be the last movie?
No. There was always going to be a third one, yeah. But the way that the story is set up, they close up so many loose ends that by the end of it, it's just like, well, what else? There is no more story to tell. Like, they killed off their overarching villain, Snoke. They killed him off unceremoniously.
Right.
So it's like, what are you going to make Kylo the villain now? Like, he's such a bitch. Like, and he keep flip-flopping between good and dark. It's like, well, I don't take him seriously as a villain because I know his heart ain't even in the shit.
Right.
So
He's
it's
just like, yeah, let's dabble in it this week and see what we can do.
Right, this week. It's like, I might be evil today. Maybe. We'll see. And then, the stuff with Rey, like, all of her mystery, they supposedly wrapped up. So it's like, all right, well, you don't really have anything else to go with her. They killed off Luke. Supposedly, she has all the training she needs. So it's like, well, where do you go from here? Like, the Empire or whatever, the First Order is in shambles. The Resistance is in shambles. So it's like, well, I don't even know, like, what are we even doing anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
The thing that's the most frustrating to me about it, though, is that imagine what this could have been like if they hadn't killed everybody off already. Like,
they had the opportunity to make this.
Yeah, like there is not a single shot in these movies where Luke, Han, and Leia are all in the same shot together.
Right.
In the first movie, you get to see Han and Leia interact like once, and then they kill Han off. Unfortunately, Carrie Fisher died in real life, so I mean, you can only use her sparingly at this point. And they killed Luke off in the last movie, so it's like your three main characters from the original trilogy, you didn't even have a moment where they even got to see each other again, and they're all dead now.
You know what they could do?
Either fictionally or literally dead now.
What they could do is, and I mean, it's going to be retcon like crazy, but what they could do is in some way, shape, or form have one of the new characters like, I don't know, deep in thought process or some shit, and like have you know how they have like the ghostly image of Carrie in one of them? They could do that and have Han, Luke, and Leia.
Yeah.
And that could potentially be a cool scene, but they're not going to.
Yeah, there's people have theorized that, like, oh, we're going to see everybody come back as a Force ghost, and maybe. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I want that, but even if they do that, though, it's like the fact that you got to bring these motherfuckers just to get them on screen together. They got to be ghosts and shit.
Right.
You done already fucked up.
Right.
It's like if the only way you can get these characters back together is in ghost form, like, you made a real wrong turn somewhere. It's funny too, because like with like I said, the only interesting thing that I'm looking forward to is the relationship between Kylo and Rey. But they have to kill Kylo off because they're either going to kill him off or try to redeem him by the end, but he's still going to die doing something good.
Yeah. Because
he's too far gone to the dark side to try and bring him back and keep his character alive. Because, he killed Han, he killed his dad, he tried to kill Leia, he is the cause of Luke's death, even though he didn't actually kill Luke. And did all this other fucked up shit. So I'm like, you can't be like, oh, he's good now. Like, no, like he has
don't work like that.
He has to pay for what he's done. So he's gonna turn good by the end. He'll probably kill Palpatine or help Rey kill Palpatine. He'll die in the process, saving the other, fucking characters we don't give a shit about. And then that'll be it. Or he'll stay evil to the end and then die. One of the two. But there is no future where Kylo continues on as a living character that's been redeemed of his badness. It's I don't know, this whole sequel trilogy is just one big missed opportunity. Like, you still had all the actors from the original trilogy still alive and willing to do the movies, and you completely dropped the ball with using them again. And it's like, I get it, you have to make new characters to give younger audiences someone to latch on to.
Sure.
Like, people who didn't grow up with Star Wars, you can't just be like, well, here's Luke Skywalker 30 years later. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I get it. You have to have new characters to get people interested in it again. Especially new people.
But you also have to keep the fan base that you have.
Thank you.
And that is a large chunk. Like, we have to think about it. The original 3 came out in the 70s. The middle 3, there was 3, right? Okay. So the middle 3 come out in the 90s. So you're talking 2 generation groups of people that grew up watching Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And obviously the ones from the 90s went back and would watch the originals. Mm-hmm. So now you have this group of young generation millennials that are being introduced to Star Wars. This is their trilogy that they have. Mm-hmm. And you can't just cater to 1/3 of your audience.
No, exactly. Like
so you have to keep the other 2/3 interested. And I think that a lot of people that I talk to that are Star Wars fans of those two older generations, they're like, I don't care about these.
No,
they're not the ones that are going to see these new 3, this trilogy that they've created. They're not the ones going to see it.
And I think what it was is that Disney and the creators behind the scenes were so afraid. They were trying so hard to stay away from the prequels that they were like, we're just going to basically remake the original trilogy.
Right.
And not pay attention to the shit from the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, we're going to kind of ignore those. And they should have made a concerted effort to integrate the fans from, like you said, the 2 different generations of Star Wars movies into this. So then that way you have the brand new characters for the new fans. You have the original characters from the original trilogy, and you still have elements from the prequels worked in there to where it's just like, hey, everybody gets something.
Right.
You can't make everybody happy, but you could give everybody a little bit of something.
Right.
But instead, it's like, they were focused so hard on trying to make you love the new characters that they were throwing the old characters under the bus to prop them up. And it's just like, well, you're going to make people resent them.
Yeah.
Because even though the character themselves didn't do anything wrong, people are going to associate them with, oh, well, now we got new Luke and they just threw old Luke off a cliff and shit. Right. Fuck him. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, especially box office wise, because I'm really interested to see like how much this ends up making. There was like a controversy about the ticket sales and stuff like that, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not excited for this like I was for Endgame, and I should be, and I'm not, and that's sad.
I mean,
the Star Wars has been around much longer than the MCU.
You are correct. But it goes back to, you fall into that second. You're kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
You're kind of.
I wasn't old enough for the original trilogy.
Right, but you are old enough to have watched the original trilogy, and you're old enough to where you saw the middle 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, you're in that in between. You're one of the ones that they should have been trying to pull in, and the fact that you're not excited about this. What's that going to do for, someone like me who's not even a Star Wars fan at all?
Right. It's like you really have a passive relationship with it.
I am not a Star Wars fan. And everybody I talk to, they're like, oh, you got to watch the original trilogy. Don't pay attention to nothing else after that. Okay, so the one time I had a thought about trying to go back and watch something, I think it was when the first trailer for this come out. Mm-hmm. And I watched it and I was like, if this is anything, I don't have time for this bullshit. Yeah, just like I don't have time for that.
No, it's fair. It's not for everybody. I mean, it took me a while to get into Star Wars because I was definitely a Star Trek fan way before I was a Star Wars fan. Mm-hmm. But it eventually rubbed off on me, and I would consider myself a fan. Hardcore, I wouldn't say, but big enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it comes out, and I mean, it's barreling down on this. Tickets are on sale now, so it comes out, the beginning of December. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not excited.
Nope. Might have to get the Disney Plus for this one.
Right. All right, moving on.
Okay, JJ, you have to wrap up the story threads you started in your film. Make sense of what's left from Johnson's film. tie in the overarching narrative of the 6 prior films before it, and give a satisfying conclusion to a 40-plus year franchise that will please all audiences. No pressure.
I'm gonna sound like our R.I.P. Benoit. I don't know who asked for this to be remade. Like, I don't.
Fair enough.
I know it's been at least 20 years. I want to say
Yes.
since the original Grudge came out.
I want to say
it does not feel like it's been that long.
No, I want to say it come out in 99.
I think you're right.
Or 2000, maybe. I think maybe closer to 2000. Because I don't think it was in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
Like 2000, 2001-ish. I really can't backdate it much further than that. And I don't want to I don't want to push date it any further than that either.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find it here on Wikipedia.
I'll say type in Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
2004.
Okay, so yeah.
So it's almost 20 years.
Still, that's enough.
Just about, yeah. But yeah, no, yeah. Okay, so it's based off of an original like Japanese horror movie.
Yes.
Called like Ju-On or something like that. And they adapted the first movie pretty faithfully to the original Japanese story. It's basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone's murdered in the house, it's possessed and shit like that. There's a little kid ghost and then the long-haired bitch ghost. It was a whole thing. Like it came out around that time when like The Ring and a couple other like Japanese adapted horror movies were like
I don't think they transfer well.
You know, it's funny because I do. Like, I
Really?
actually enjoyed The Grudge and the first Ring when it came out.
Oh, I did. I liked them.
The sequels...
But I don't think that, like, the sequels didn't transfer well, and it wasn't a genre of movies that lasted for a long time.
No,
like
it burned bright and
it
fast.
Was, you know, you had The Ring, you had The Grudge, you had...
Mm-hmm.
There was another one that was real similar, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, 2000 to, like... 2006. That was it. That's all you had.
Yeah, you had a good like 6-year run, and then it was like okay.
And then after that, it's
and then like the found footage horror movies that kind of popped up again and got popular. But yeah, no, it's horror kind of does that in like phases. Like it'll come back again, and I guess they're trying to see if it's time for it to come back this time.
I don't know.
But it could just be me, or the way that this is edited or whatever. But this actually doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good.
I mean, I was kind of seeing elements from the original.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you walk into the house and the detective and the bathtub full of hair or the water, and then
the bitch the hair coming out the faucet and shit.
The chick's hand coming through the back of the guy's head. When I saw that, I was like, oh, they did it. All right.
Yep. That was the one moment where I was just like, I wonder if they're going to... I'm like, yep, they did it. Because, in the original movie, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar is taking a shower and the hand is coming out of her hair and shit. Yep. And that's what I said. That's why I like Japanese horror movies, because the ghosts are always corny as hell, because it's always just, like, low-budgeted shit, and it's just, like, some crazy bitch with, like, white makeup on, like, with crazy hair going, like, ah! And it's like, whatever. The ghost itself is irrelevant. That's just dumb. But it's the different ways that they try to scare you. Mm-hmm. I find interesting, like, the having a girl crawling up the walls, and, like, the hair, like, coming out of people's mouth and shit, or like the body parts coming out of their head and shit. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I think that stuff's cool, and that's kind of like breathes. It's a gimmick, yes, but it breathes new life into horror movies.
Sure,
that we, at least as Western audiences, don't see all that much.
You know, I was just thinking, I wonder how, like, versus international versus domestic, like what the numbers were with the original.
Yeah.
And what they will be with this new one.
Yeah.
I'm sure that stuff like this over in, you know, China, Japan, those those Asian countries where this stuff kind of originates, I'm sure that this does better.
Probably
over there, and then
Well, better as in like their version or like the American
like
adaptation. You think does better over there than
the? I think like when the Grudge movie comes out,
sure, like our version of it.
Yeah, the one that we watched the trailer for.
Okay.
Once that comes out over here, I don't see it staying in theaters for, lengthy periods of time.
Sure.
But I wonder if over in China, Japan area, if it hits numbers like our, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah. Like if it has better box office over
right. Yeah. If it hits better box office numbers over there versus being over here.
If for no other reason, probably just to see how we interpreted their story. You know what I'm saying? Like when same thing like we get from being comic book fans and stuff.
Right.
Like we know the source material, and then when the movie comes out, it's like, oh, I want to see how they did the movie. Like
right.
They made the Harry Potter books and shit, or the movies. Let's just say, it's like, oh, well, how is this going to be different from the book and shit like that. So probably, if for no other reason but that, probably yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Sam Raimi needs to just go ahead and like make a horror movie and stop producing them, because he's produced a bunch of horror movies since Spider-Man 3, but hasn't really directed anything in a long time.
No, not really.
And I don't know why. Like, he did the Drag Me to Hell. He produced the remake of Evil Dead. He was like showrunner or some shit on that Evil Dead show that came out.
Oh yeah.
I Spit
forgot
on Your
about that.
Grave and a couple other ones he produced, and I'm just like, you clearly want to go back to horror, so just make a horror movie. Like, why do you keep producing them? I mean, I'm not a fan of the Evil Dead movies. Like, our last year for all the horror, we reviewed Evil Dead 2, and I was not a fan of it at all. It was funny, but not, like, intentionally for the most part. I kind of was laughing at it when I don't think I was supposed to have been.
Yeah, that was one of those movies, it was so stupid that it was funny. Yeah. You're just like, what
and I get it,
fuck?
it's a cult classic and people love it and all that, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't
mine neither. And I told my brother that we watched that, and he's like, Evil Dead. I said, yeah, it's basically the part 1 of the Army of Darkness. He's like, I love Army of Darkness. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you were saying that he loved that one. Yeah.
And I had told him again, and he's like, hey, let's watch the Army of Darkness. And I'm like, no. I'm good.
I'm good. I'm straight.
Twice is enough.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I obviously, if this does well, they will make more. They always do. I just don't want them to do what they did, 15 years ago, and they oversaturate the market with these kind of movies. People get burnt out on them, and then we don't see them again for another 10, 20 years. I if this does well, sure, do a sequel, build on it, but I just don't want every studio going like, okay, we're back to doing Japanese horror movies again.
Yeah, like, I give it a very small window, like before, and
yeah, and I think that this is something that could be a mainstay. Like, I think adaptations of a lot of like Japanese mediums, like whether it be manga or anime or horror, I think can translate here if the people involved care about the source material and want to do it justice.
That's a big if.
Yeah, right. And can actually come at it from an angle to where it's like, we're not changing it so much to where we're losing sight of what the thing was in the beginning, but we're changing it enough to make people who aren't familiar with that culture and shit like that relatable to them too.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
I kind of liked how it was Cho, what's his name? John Cho?
Yeah.
I think it's John Cho.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyways, I was just like, whoa. Last time we saw him, he was on a movie with a Facebook screen by himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he did that missing movie or something.
Yeah. And then he was coming up in the Cowboy Bebop series that was going to be on Netflix.
Yep.
Which apparently they halted production on because he hurt his knee while they were filming. And so they stopped production for like months. So yeah, that's going to be pushed back for quite a while. So I hope y'all wasn't looking ready for that no time soon.
Well,
but yeah, no, this is coming out in theaters in 2020. I didn't catch the exact month, but I'm sure we'll get another trailer soon. So.
I'm sure this is just the initial. So
yeah. All right, moving on.
You know, if they got these ghosts some detangler and a hairdryer, they'd be a lot friendlier.
Mel.
Yes.
You and T-Money are wrestling fans.
We are.
And now, does that fandom extend to the video games?
It does, actually.
Okay, all right.
So much so that T-Money pre-ordered this the first date that it was available to be pre-ordered.
So you guys own this game?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, we do.
Boy. So this
and
is good,
I
though.
do not want to talk about how much it costs.
Okay.
Because
no.
I wasn't aware of it until
Oh, what did he get? Like the Ultimate Collector's Edition?
He picked me up from work.
Comes with a chair and a table you can break?
No, that was the $150 package, and he said no, he didn't order that one. He picked me up from work and had it kind of stashed in the center console, and he's like, "Look what I got," and whipped it out, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" I said, we can't afford that right now. And he's like, "Oh, I kind of had already pre-ordered it, and I paid for it like 6 months ago."
Damn.
Okay, so $78 later, we get WWE 2K20, which is really weird to say, by the way. It's weird that we're almost in 2020, but...
So we got this game, and it is... not even a few weeks old at this point. And it has a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs.
So I've heard. I have yet to play it. But...
Okay. So hopefully by the time you play it, you'll get your updates and the patches, and hopefully it won't be a terrible mess like it is currently.
T-Money did say that there's... he's played the story mode already. And I guess there is... On the story mode, it like reflects back to your wrestler's younger days.
Okay.
And so it kind of looks all foggy and like grainy, but it's supposed to because it's like a back memory. I guess.
Yeah, like a flashback.
Yeah. So he said that might be.
No, that's probably
that
not.
might be what people are talking about. I don't know. No. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it yet.
It is much more egregious than that. So just to give you an idea, I wanted to pull up a little YouTube video.
All right.
And I wanted to just give you an idea of what the current state of the game is.
Okay.
Now, as you can see, we're going into a little leg lock submission, okay?
Figure
and
4.
Watch the referee.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh.
Yep. So he's basically humping her head. Yep, uh-huh. He's all glitched out and having a seizure.
Oh.
Yep. Uh-huh. now wait, now.
Oh my
watch.
God.
Yep.
Now he's tap dancing on the rope.
Yep, and the rope. Yep.
The rope just breaks loose.
And then they're just crawling around on their knees, up, and then the ref got sucked up in it, and now he's glitched out. Oh, look at this.
All right.
Fast forward a little bit through there.
Yeah, that looks...
Oh, yeah, no, he's still stuck. He's gone into the ring, and the guy is just now getting off the corner to come follow him.
Okay.
And then we got a little four-way action out here.
All right.
Yep, so we're stuck on our knees again. Look, he's having a seizure. He can't even get up.
Yep, I'm flopping around like a fish over
now
there.
He's just walking on his knees.
Oh, all right. Back to a women's match. Oh, Charlotte falls through the tables.
Teleporting through the table. Yep.
Becky's on her knees. All right.
Yep. Cripple. Yep. Teleported through the table again. Teleported back. All right.
Ooh.
Yep. Continuously teleporting through the table. Yep. That's always nice. Now, I don't know if it'll be on here, but there's a video where they're trying to powerbomb somebody into some stairs, and the stairs just float through the floor and disappear.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
And we're
we got
teleporting through the
Oscar.
ropes.
Oh, yeah. Teleporting through the ropes there.
Oh, yep. That's not weird at all.
Ref's hesitating.
Yep. No countdown. Yep, that's always fun. So, just to give you an idea of just some of the things that are wrong, and then the character creator, that's just a total fucking mess. It's terrible. So, that was just to give you an idea just how the state of the game is. It is so bad, in fact, that Sony is refunding those who bought the game on PS4. They are saying, which is rare, usually Sony won't give you your money back unless a game just straight up won't even play. So basically, in its current state, Sony considers WWE 2K20 a broken game. If you want to get a refund on your copy of WWE 2K20, go over to the PlayStation support page and make a request. Do it soon, though, as you only have 14 days from the purchase to get a refund.
Oh, then I'm already out.
Yeah. I don't know if pre-ordering, if that counts.
Because he paid for it 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's already been...
Yeah, well, maybe it's 14 days from release. We'll see.
I guess. I don't know.
But,
and you know,
2K,
I told him about this today because he always asks what we're talking about. And I told him that we were talking about, 2K20, and he's like, it really doesn't play that bad, so I don't know what the bad
and
would
then, like
be.
I said, he just hasn't run into some of the problems that other people have had. Because, I mean, obviously, and that was just a little 5-minute video.
Yeah.
Like, just looking up WWE 2K20 glitches, it's just like hundreds of videos just pop up. So, it's not an isolated thing. I mean, maybe not every single player is having that many issues, but enough to where... Look, if Sony is refunding motherfuckers, it's a problem because they do not want to give up no money. All right,
yeah,
that is cash in hand that they don't want to give up. It's so bad to where the publisher came out and said, they put out a tweet, said, we are listening closely to the feedback that's been shared regarding WWE 2K20 and are aware of the concerns some players are reporting. We're working hard to investigate these concerns and address them as necessary. We expect to have an initial patch ready in the next 2 weeks with others to follow. So I hope that you can wait for another 2 more weeks to get your game fixed. It's like you paid $60, maybe more,
$78
for a game full price, and then some in some cases for a literally broken game.
So how does that work? Okay, I am not up to date on all of the newest consoles. Everybody knows I like the classics. How does that work when there's a glitchy game or a game that's, is it like when the game downloads onto the system
No. What
how do you fix that?
What the problem is that in the process of developing the game is the developers either didn't have enough time or manpower, or there were just too many unforeseen obstacles that came up as they were making it, and they had a release date that they had to hit, and they just put it out. So it's like they're building a car from scratch, and some of the parts don't fit right, or They got the parts, but they didn't have the labor hours to get it all done. But the car's got to be on the showroom floor by tomorrow, so we just got to send it out in whatever condition it's in. And then later we'll kind of patch it together as we go and fix it on the fly.
Again, how do they do that? Is that something that they do like?
Well, yeah. When you download your updates and stuff, they'll send like fixes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, they'll
so
fix
that,
it.
Like
on the
that's why your
software
systems have to have
updates constantly,
internet and
yes,
updates and shit.
Especially nowadays, because almost every AAA game comes out with some kind of issues.
Sure,
and it's almost always a day one patch, but the condition that this is in is like egregious. Like, I mean, so much so to the point where it's kind of like a slap in the face to like the people who are really hardcore WWE fans and buy all
T-Money
the
and
games
myself
and all the merch and stuff like that. Because they were willing to put out a game in such a bad state that they are basically saying that they believe that their hardcore people will just buy anything with that WWE branding on it.
I mean, I did hear that this was a different developer than previous. T-Money had told me that.
Yes.
This was some new developer.
This is like an in-house developer at 2K Games. They used to have, I think Yuri or Yuki, something like that was the name of the studio. They used to do it and made pretty much all the games for years.
Yeah.
And they left to do their own wrestling game, independent game.
Okay.
From them. And so, 2K was like, oh, that's cool. We got people that work here that can just fix this shit up and just finish it.
Gotcha.
What the problem is that because these games come out yearly, they almost always have problems. Like every year, Madden has issues.
Oh, yeah.
NBA 2K has issues. FIFA, they all have problems every year.
I know, because we have all of them.
Exactly.
Well,
and it's like...
Yeah, I think we have FIFA too. Anyways.
Yeah. And anytime you get a yearly release game, even back when they were making Assassin's Creed games every year and shit, they're always fucked up. Because there's always shit that they're either trying to do either at the last minute or problems that come up that they weren't ready for that throws a wrench in everything that they were doing.
Sure.
And it just causes headaches that ripple for months down the road. And... what the problem is because instead of doing it like a bi-yearly, something like that, because it has to be every year, they just got to put it out. And all they do is kind of put a fresh coat of paint over old engines and shit like that, and they just put the same game out next year again.
Right.
And it's, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's why I'm very picky about the games that I will pay full price for when they first come out. Because I know that there's going to be issues with it, and depending on how bad the issues are, like, I don't want to be in a situation like T-Money where I done spend $80 on the game, and then it's like, it's filled with problems. Now, luckily for him, in his instance, he hasn't had no real issues like that yet.
True.
But
at the same time, we are pretty busy, so I mean, it's not like he
can just pour a bunch of hours
sits and
into
faithfully plays this. I mean, it's... hey, I got an off day from school, or it's not a good day to go hunting, and, well, football's not on, so I'll sit and I'll play the game or something. Right. So, I mean, like, you kind of play sporadically.
Right.
Where he plays sporadically as well, because, he's not a 14-year-old.
Sure.
With
just have, like...
a buckload of time on his hands.
Free time, and don't have to worry about money and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
He, is actually grown, so...
got bills and shit.
I mean,
but yeah, no, it's one of those things where, like, and it's not going to change either, because the expectation is for a new game to be out every year, because you got new football team rosters, you got new wrestlers that are up and coming. So if you're behind a year, it's irrelevant. So the demand for it is going to necessitate there always to be a game out every year, but.
Oh, sure.
Feasibly.
Look how many years we've had Madden.
Exactly.
Jesus, we've had Madden for like 30 years.
Yeah. But feasibly doing that, you're always going to have the problem of, okay, what condition is this game going to be in? So it's like, you got to talk with your dollars, man. Like, if you don't want this kind of shit, then you can't buy it when it comes out. Like, and if you don't buy it, then they won't make it as often, but then you have to just live with the fact that, hey, you may not have a 2K20 and you might have to wait till 2K21.
See, this is why I don't pre-order games.
Yeah, no.
Also,
no.
One of the reasons why I don't buy new games, vintage systems are my thing. You buy the game, if it works and has glitches, then it's just a glitch. Probably with your system. I don't know. I mean, I like some new games, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to run out and pre-order 2K20 6 months in advance.
No?
No, and being as how I didn't know anything about it, he knew that I wasn't going to be like, hey, let's go buy the new 2K20 game.
Right.
It was kind of one of those ask for forgiveness, not permission kind of things.
Yep. That's what it sounds like.
But, I mean, whatever.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess the moral to this whole story is be careful what you purchase. especially ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for more than regular retail value. Especially if it's a yearly release game. Just saying. All right, moving on.
Every annual franchise release is garbage, period. No exceptions.
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right, dumb shit is going to be a little different this week. Typically, when I find dumb shit, it's an article, and I go and I do as much or as little research on it as I can, and then I present it to you, the audience. Well, this week, I found a video, and we don't have to worry about being copyrighted or anything like that. It's not a copywritten video. It was something that come from one of the million multimedia social sites where you can upload a video, whether it was YouTube or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever. I couldn't find the original source, so I just took the video that I did find. I'm gonna play the video, and there's like somebody has sliced together, the beginning is 50 Cent says something before this girl, and then there's a clip from Austin Powers just kind of thrown in there in response to this girl, and the girl speaks again.
Okay.
And then at the end, it's Steve Harvey, so it's like a clip from his show, but it relates to
something 50 Cent said?
No, it relates, all of the little snippets in between relate back to this girl and what she has to say.
Okay.
So basically it's all of them calling her an idiot in various forms.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this, and we're gonna hear what the craziness is.
Weed because it's healthier than marijuana. That's why marijuana is illegal and weed isn't. Get your facts straight.
Okay. So for those of you who couldn't really hear it, or whatever the tidbit, I'll play it again.
Oh, shit.
I will play it again. And I want you to listen carefully to what this poor misguided soul says.
Oh, Lord.
So this, I can't with this girl. All right. She's right after 50 Cent, so.
Because it's healthier than marijuana. That's why marijuana is illegal and weed isn't. Get your facts straight.
And if you look at her face, she is so confident. And she's got this I'm right kind of attitude. And she's all waving her finger. Now, for those of you who still didn't hear what she says, I smoke weed because marijuana is illegal. Yep. So weed is better. Get your facts straight.
Yeah. Weed is better for you than marijuana. That's why weed's not legal. But that's why weed's not illegal, but marijuana is illegal.
Yep. Now, I have never smoked weed in my life.
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't, I don't care that my friends do, whatever. Sure. It's legal. Who cares? Sure. But this girl, she barely looks 16, so it's not legal for her either. Whatever she decides to call it, it's not context, not legal. Either which way. I played this for T-Money, and he about lost it. He's like, what the hell did this chick just say? So I played it for him again. And the end of the video with the Steve Harvey clip, he comes towards the camera on his show, and he's like, "Shut your stupid ass up!" and he's like shaking the camera. That's T-Money's like, that's how I feel. He's like, I had thought I had heard it all, and I was mistaken because.
I wonder if she thinks cannabis is a different thing than marijuana and weed too, or she thinks like hemp is like a different thing.
THC, who knows?
Right.
Whatever.
These are just all different like categories. They're not related.
They're
to
not
each
the
other
same
all.
thing. No, not at all.
Not a little bit. Interesting.
Okay, so
I wonder what it's like to be that stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
be,
imagine
completely, like,
being that
oblivious
stupid.
of just like basic things. Must be nice.
I would. No, fuck that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Think about all the things that you don't have to stress about because you just don't even know. It's just you're just too dumb to even know the difference. It's like don't even matter.
No, I would feel embarrassed to be that dumb.
Wait, why am I worried about politics? I don't even know what the president even means. Like what are you even saying to me right now? What is that word? Explain it.
What is your job title?
Right. Tell me more about this president that you keep speaking of.
Right.
Yeah, like that. No, it's got to be nice to just be so dumb that. Yeah,
I don't know if I would go there. Anything. Like I would be embarrassed to be that stupid.
My thing is though, is she
got a whole attitude about it
with the level of confidence that you described.
Yeah,
that she explained this in. She had to have said this to somebody once before. Like, this cannot be the first time she said this out loud in front of somebody.
Probably not. And it appears that she's saying it to some video.
Right.
So I assume there was a conversation on the internet, and this is how her response came about.
But my thing is like, she had to have said this in front of somebody else prior to this, and nobody even was like, you know what? Don't even say nothing. Just let her keep going. Don't correct her. Don't try and guide her out of this tailspin that she's in of just ignorance. Like, nope, just let her keep going.
Yeah,
no, it's fine, baby, it's fine. Marijuana's terrible. Weed, that's what.
I don't know.
It's like it's a different strain of weed or something. Like what? Oh my God.
Like I said, I couldn't. Typically, I find articles, and I can like info dump on everybody, and we can laugh together.
Sure.
This was just too good to pass up.
That is pretty good.
I couldn't leave it floating out there and not put it on, dumb shit. I had no words afterwards. Like, it was so dumb. I found it and immediately saved it so that I could come back to it. And then on the way here, I was like, well, damn, I don't have a story for dumb shit. So I start looking back, as I have a whole folder now on Facebook. So I can just deposit my stories that I find. And I come across this one at the top, and it's like star marked, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, who says that? Marijuana's bad, but weed is legal. Like,
yeah, weed is good for you. Like, no, I would want to know, like, please, like, explain to me the difference. Like, I want to know, like, where do these two things come from? Are they different plants? Like, is there a special part of the weed plant that's weed and not marijuana? Like, please help me out here. Show me how show me your work. Show me how you solved this problem.
I don't know. I weep for our future, and the more and more dumb shit that we find, the more and more I'm like, people cannot be this stupid. And yet, each week, I'm eating crow and eating my words because there's one that's just that much more stupid.
So you'd be surprised.
I'm just going to stop thinking that, and hopefully that helps balance things out. Because, like, if I think it, then it's going to come into existence. Let's just hope that if I stop thinking that there can't be anybody stupider, or more stupid, I'm sorry. I know stupider is not. I know that stupider is not a word, but I do like the way that it sounds, and it's used in a movie. So
that dumb shit's
I kind of slide. I kind of slide because it's used in a movie, but we're.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to hold back the laughter, and it's not working. So I'm just going to clarify for this girl, not that I think she can hear us, or if she does by some
Right. Somebody
crazy
reach out to
chance.
her and send her this clip.
Through the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
Weed and marijuana are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that you're smoking something illegal, if you're under 18, then you are. But it's not. There's no difference. They are the same. And that is coming from somebody who doesn't even smoke it. So maybe she should just lay off.
Right.
That's her problem. She smokes too much. And she should really just lay off.
The weed
because
was too good.
I don't know what else to say. Maybe you should get your facts straight, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say. So, with that, if you have submissions for dumb shit, please, by all means, send them my way. You can email them to the show at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can send them via Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can send them directly to me on Twitter at FroggyBeaver. And as always, stay smart, kids. That's all I got for you.
Marijuana is bad for you, but weed is good for you. Wait, is this like that water isn't wet thing?
So since it is the week of Halloween, and this is our final episode for the month of October.
Oh my God, it is.
Mm-hmm, I know, the year's almost over. It's crazy.
Well, you said earlier we'd been doing this for 2 years. I was like,
Come December. Yeah.
holy shit balls, Batman.
I know, right? It doesn't feel like it's
Not
been
at
that long,
all.
but apparently.
But I mean, that's pretty impressive.
No, that's true. That's true.
It's pretty impressive.
But seeing as how, we're coming up on spoopy time, I thought it would be fun to talk about who is the king of Halloween. Now, what
are the parameters here?
Okay. So what I wanted to do is we're going to have 5 contestants.
Okay.
We're going to go over, a quick little bio about them and give their stats.
Okay.
And then we will compare them to each other. And
Okay.
we will argue each side.
Okay.
And then we will determine a winner.
Okay. So kind of like a movie review, but not really.
Yeah, not really.
Not
Yeah,
really.
Not really.
Gotcha. All right.
So, okay. So first up. All right. So we're going to start with...
Now, is there if we have like somebody that didn't make the top 5 list, can we nominate them? Or
No.
just stick to the top 5?
I figured for the first time we do this, we'll start off with 5, and then if we have fun doing it and we do it again next year, we will have our winner of this, and then we'll have 5. We'll choose from them, and then we'll pit them against each other. Yeah,
next year,
kind of like making a tournament.
I was gonna say next year if we do this, which we are big on our traditions here, we should do brackets.
Yeah. Like tournament style.
King of Halloween bracket.
Yeah,
I got the wheels turning.
Well, just because like I've had these conversations with people in passing. And
Sure,
stuff online
I actually
and stuff.
just had mentioning of conversation at work today. So
yeah, because I'm always curious, like who do people associate with Halloween? Like, who is their favorite monster or slasher or whatever?
Okay.
And so these are the 5 that I feel are probably the most well known.
Okay.
And probably, are debatably, should be the king.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So, okay. So first, I wanted to start with, we will start with Chucky.
Okay. Wait. 1989 Chucky or 2019 Chucky?
Every iteration. So just Chucky as a character, okay? Because with all these characters that we're going to go over, they've all had a reboot at some point or another.
True.
So
you right.
Just about all but one. But yeah, so we're covering every iteration.
Okay.
So Chucky. Male. His first film came out in 1988. He is 29 inches tall. He has had 8 movies and a 49 kill count.
Whew.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And our next...
You said 8 movies?
Mhm, 8
All right.
movies,
All
yep.
right.
And our next contestant is Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
Single, male, height 6'2", weight 225 pounds, eyes rotten, hair none. His first film started in 1980. He has had 12 movies with 146 kill count.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 is Jigsaw. He is 5'11", 171 pounds. Age is unknown, but I think it's like 60s or 70s, something like that.
Okay.
His film series franchise started in 2004. And what?
He's got 8, right?
No, he's had 8 movies.
Yep.
With a 60 kill count.
Okay.
Our fourth contestant is Frederick Krueger. Male, single, age 32 at death, height 5'8", weight 160 pounds. His film franchise started in 1984 with 9 movies in total and a 42 kill count. And then our final contestant is the venerable Michael Myers. Male, single, height 6'1", weight 205 pounds, eyes blue, hair brown. Would be the OG of the slashers. He is the originator of the slasher films as we know them today. His film series started in 1978. He has had 11 movies with 128 kill count.
Okay.
Now, those are our 5 contestants. We have Chucky, Jason, Freddy, Jigsaw, and Michael.
Okay.
All right. So, let's argue these are the categories that I specifically want to hit.
Okay.
Best killer,
Okay.
most efficient,
Okay.
biggest body count, creativity, iconicness or iconography, whatever, and who would win in a battle.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with biggest body count.
I believe that's Mike Myers. Or
No,
is
it was
it Jason? I knew they were real close.
Yeah, Jason, yeah. Michael was number 2
Yep.
with 128. Jason was number 1 with 146.
Okay, so yeah, you threw a lot of numbers my way, and
and
I'm not good with numbers.
arguably, Jason has, because Michael has the most definitive kill count, because with Michael's kills, they're all clean kills where it's like, okay, Michael killed this person. He stabbed him, threw him out a window, he cut the brakes on their car, some shit like that. With Jason's kills, some of his are more murky because in Jason X, for example, when he's in space, he kills the pilot of the ship who crashes into the space station with a whole bunch of other people.
Everybody else. Sure.
Yeah, so it's like, well, do we count that? Is that a Jason kill? So his are a little bit more murky, but officially...
Are we counting Jason kills from the first movie as well, when it wasn't actually Jason?
Yes, I think people count that too. I think that 146 counts the first movie.
Okay, so his numbers are a little skewed.
Yeah, and there's been other versions of Jason too. There's been other people who've taken up Jason's mantle. So it's like, well, do they count? So I'm assuming we're counting all those, like Jason Imposter or Copycat, whatever, his mom, all that counts.
Again, his numbers are a little
his are a bit more murkier. But as far as just the body count, though, putting all his, happenstance murders aside, his straight up murders, he has the highest body count.
Okay.
By far. I think of the 5, I think the lowest might have been Jigsaw.
It was either Jigsaw or Chucky.
Yeah, Jigsaw was 60. Freddy was 42.
Oh, it might be Freddy then.
Yeah, and Chucky was 49. So yeah, Freddy actually has the lowest body count, surprisingly, because Freddy has the of the 5, he has the most potential for killing than everybody else, because his shit, he doesn't actually have to physically do anything to you. His shit's all in your mind. So as long as you have to dream, which you gotta sleep, every fucking creature does, he can kill anybody. So you would think his kill count would be way higher.
His are more meticulous.
Yeah, he likes to fuck with people.
He does. He'd rather see somebody go crazy.
Yeah.
And, he just keep popping up in their dreams for 40 years. Yeah. As opposed to actually killing them.
Yeah, and then he's trying to get his dick hard, too.
And there's that whole thing.
Molestation thing. Yeah. So it's like, But, even though Jason has the highest body count, I feel that Freddy has the highest potential for body count.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Because if he was like a ruthless, just like, I'm gonna kill as many motherfuckers as I can.
He was a pedo first and then a killer.
Yeah.
And criminally, that kind of trumps something. Like, there's something in a criminal's brain where the sexual gratification takes over the willingness to kill or the readiness to kill, I guess. And so that he kind of has that kind of working against him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I mean, you're right. He does have the potential. So instead of, just fucking with everybody for 40 years, he could just be like, yeah, no, haha, bitch, bye. Also, he is my least favorite off the entire list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he might have some potential. I was hoping Chucky would have some potential in the new film. However, I think there was only 4 kills in the new film.
Yeah, it was. I was looking at the kill count for that
real
movie
low.
Specifically, and it was not. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah. Okay, so we got Jason, biggest body count, hands down.
Yep,
easy. Okay, let's go creativity.
Okay, I'm gonna say Jigsaw, hands down, Jigsaw.
Yeah, I didn't want to just give it to him on this category, but I mean, honestly, who else could you give it to?
I mean,
because I could argue that Jason does set up some pretty elaborate, like,
he does.
Not necessarily things to kill you per se, because he might have a thing where like a fucking sickle might come out the ground and hit you in the head or some shit. But usually, when he sets up things, it's like bodies falling out the attic or something, or like you open a door and there's a dead motherfucker hanging on the backside. So,
Michael Myers has had a few good ones.
But even with him though, most of his, at best, it'll be like, oh, you tripped over a thing and fell on some spikes or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think
he usually likes to kill you.
I think the best one for Michael Myers was when, in the last movie, they squished the dude's head all over the pavement.
Oh,
you remember that?
His head?
He steps on his head and it just splatters.
Yeah.
That was definitely pretty cool.
Yeah,
I will give him props for that.
But and I'm trying to think of like Chucky though. Like Chucky has some.
Chucky gets pretty clever.
Yeah,
he's had
a motherfucker up to some shit in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, look at the most recent Chucky movie. He had a guy fall off a ladder and fall straight down, so he broke his legs, and then the guy had the Christmas lights wrapped around him, and Chucky turns on the weed tiller, and the weed tiller is like coming for the guy, but it's wrapped around the Christmas lights.
Okay.
And so it's like eating the Christmas lights and it's going to eat this guy. Well, the guy puts his arm up to stop the weed tiller because he figures eventually it's going to run out of gas. And then Chucky comes out and like he's got a knife and he's like, "This is for Tupac, bitch," and stabs him. And then
this is for Tupac?
It's a whole thing.
Okay, I don't even want to know.
Anyway, so he stabs the guy, and the guy is like reaching down to remove the knife from Chucky, and then the weed tiller kind of comes and like chops him into little pieces.
Right, because he let it go.
And so then Chucky like has cut his face off before the weed tiller has eaten him, and nails it to a watermelon.
Oh.
And presents it to Andy.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's pretty creative. I will give him that.
Oh.
That was probably the best and only kill of the movie.
Okay.
Best, at least.
All right.
And so that is pretty creative. But, I mean, think about all them puzzles that Jigsaw...
Yeah. I was going to say, his whole shtick
That's his thing.
Yeah. But a competitor... I would say I got to go back to Freddy. Like Freddy, his whole thing is like setting up these like crazy dream scenarios that he kills you in. The only reason I would give it to Jigsaw over Freddy though is because Jigsaw actually has to set up this shit and like build these traps and set the needles and get the drugs and find the people and put them in the cages and set up the clues and all that. You know, whereas Freddy is just his
he
evil,
just pops
mystical
in and out.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't actually have to put anything together or craft anything. He can just be like, now we're in a fun house and I'm crazy clown man. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So okay. So,
maybe not hands down Jigsaw, because I can definitely see.
Yeah, but we're still gonna give it to Jigsaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. So body count, we got Jason. Creativity, we have Jigsaw. Let's go for best killer.
Ooh, it's hard when...
Now, this one was vague, and I left this one purposefully vague.
I want to say it's hard when
that...
you say best, because like you said, you can... Is it best in terms of, like, jump scares, haha, here you go, bam, like, efficient? Or do you want best, like... the creativeness or victim selection?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it's a broad enough thing to where whatever you want it to be. Like,
okay.
I kind of want it to encompass a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Like, you know, how stealthy they are.
Okay.
How efficient they are at killing. You know, how creative the kills are. You know, how iconic the kills are, and all that kind of stuff. Like that. This one's kind of like the catch-all category. Like, who's the best overall?
I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think for me it would have to be Michael Myers.
Okay.
Freddy, he's lots of smoke and mirrors, but not really, really efficient.
Yeah. Sure. No. Sure.
Same,
but he gets extra points for style though.
Yeah. The waterbed scene is probably one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. But like Jigsaw is creative, but he's not exactly efficient either. Just because there are ways to beat his games, and there are ways for multiple people to survive.
That's fair.
So like he has one survivor per every game that he's got.
Yeah.
And
but that's built into the game, though,
right?
Too.
I don't know.
Or at least it's supposed to be.
I think he's got too many. I think he's got too many that survive.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
know, he's got at least one for every movie.
Yeah.
So that's at least 8 people that he intentionally.
But then
let
half
live.
of them became Jigsaw though too. So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say.
I mean, Jigsaw's cool. Don't get me wrong,
Sure.
but I think that the best would have to go to Michael, just because dude sat in a prison for 40 years and then picked it back up and just like he didn't even miss a beat. He didn't.
Right. And even if you ignore that continuity and stay with the other ones where he was always killing and shit, he's
been doing it. Not the the longest, but
the longest,
most efficient in each movie. You know, from beginning to end of Halloween 1.
Right, but I don't want you to get so caught on efficient, because that's its own category. Because it's like style and
true
how iconic the kills are.
I mean,
Michael
is pretty iconic.
Yes. I would argue Michael as well. Runner up, I would say, would probably be Chucky.
Yep.
Just because Chucky, not only is he efficient with his kills for the most part, but he's creative.
Chucky's got a fall guy too.
Yeah, he has iconic moments and shit, and he's one of the few killers, besides maybe say Jigsaw, who has a like end goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like yes, he's killing and shit, but he's trying to get out of the body of the doll. He's
True.
trying to find somebody to possess so he can continue being a human. Whereas everybody else is, for the most part, Freddy just kills to be killed because his dick gets hard. Jason just kills to kill because he's just a fucking tank. You know, and Michael kills to kill because he's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Jigsaw, he's
methodical
he's
with
doing
it.
some
Yeah.
kind of good for the world or some shit, but he's got his own twisted morality. But yeah, but Chucky seems to be one of the only ones that it's like, I have a purpose behind.
I'll go with that.
Like, there's an end goal. So I mean, I would still agree with you. I would say Michael, because I mean Michael's a much more iconic killer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Chucky's probably
he's a good runner up.
Yeah, I would definitely not have any problem saying, hey, Chucky is, you know, he's very iconic. He's very, like you said, he has a plan. He has a purpose. He has, like, there could potentially be more to the Chucky story than what we even know. Mm-hmm. And so I would go with that. So yeah.
Then the last, we could skip the iconic one. Let's go most efficient.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
For this, and it's like I don't you know want to end up picking him twice in a row, but for most efficient, I'm gonna say Michael.
Okay.
Because, like you said, Jigsaw has at least one survivor every movie. At least. Michael almost never has. There's always a survivor. The horror movie never ends, almost never, where everybody dies.
Right.
There's always at least one person that lives. But I would say that Michael never has that moment in his movies, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, where it's like you think somebody's dead, but then they come back.
Right.
You know, like usually
he's
if
the only
Michael
one
get
that
his
keeps
hands
coming
on
back.
you, yeah, like you done. Like that, like once he get them hands on you, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, Freddy, Chucky, even Jigsaw. You'll think a motherfucker dead, and they'll come back at the last minute to grab Michael or Jason and tackle him with some shit, or help push you out the way from some shit hitting you. And it's just like, Michael seems to be the only one where it's just like, once he get to you, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, it's like, yes, the final
agree
girl
with that.
will live. Yes, the final girl will always live. The kids might live or something
Sure.
like that. But for the most part, it's rare that he has like survivors.
Yeah.
You know, it's like once he gets you, it's done. Now, he may not always get you, but when he does, it's lethal. Like
Basically, the ones that he targets are the
Yeah.
one you're sure that they're dead.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
in the most recent Halloween movie, the little chubby kid that she was babysitting, he's like,
yeah.
"Oh hell no,
Yeah,
I'm out."
No, yeah, he knew. Like,
He
if
knew.
you stick around, this motherfucker gonna kill your ass. He even told the boyfriend, he's like, "You go up there, you dead." He said, "You gonna die."
And you know what? We didn't see that little kid.
Nope.
Nope.
He left.
skipped town and
Michael
he
killed the kid at the beginning of the movie, the one who was like, "I just want to dance, Dad."
Yep.
Like when they was going hunting and
Yep.
shit, he killed that little motherfucker. And I was like, "Damn, I didn't think he was gonna kill the kid."
Yeah,
but-
see that little chubby kid? He's like, "Oh hell no, I'm out." He left town. He like, "Fuck you. My babysitter's dead. My babysitter boyfriend dead. My mom and daddy probably dead. I'm out." He's like, "I'm gonna go live somewhere far, far away."
But in the same thing though, I would say a good runner up to that would be Freddy, because if he wasn't so caught up on trying to bust a nut while he was trying to kill you,
Yeah.
he'd be a much more efficient killer. Because again, you cannot escape him. You have to sleep.
I would say he could probably be the runner up for the simple fact that he can terrorize you
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah. If he wanted to, over a weekend, he could kill that whole fucking town.
Yeah.
The whole town. All he need is for you to be aware of him and be afraid.
Right.
And the moment you close them eyes, it's over.
Yep.
But he's too busy bullshitting And that's how these motherfuckers end up learning how to fight back or getting away, taking fucking pills to keep them from falling asleep and shit. And it's just like...
learning to curb that fear.
Exactly.
Because his thing...
Because he's such a bitch.
I want to say his thing, he's kind of like the It clown, which I know the It Pennywise didn't make the list.
No, I almost put him in there.
But Pennywise is only effective when you are afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Freddy is only effective when you are afraid. So even if you are aware of Freddy and you have tamed your fear of Freddy, if you're not afraid of this motherfucker, he ain't gonna waste his time.
No. And the more time you spend around him, the more you realize, like, oh, he ain't shit.
Right.
Like, he's just a bitch. And that's what always happens. It's like he fuck with him for too long, and then they figure out, like, oh, you ain't really all that scary, and then they start overpowering him.
Right.
Because he's a dumbass. Okay, all right. So, final category. Who would win in a fight?
Okay, so we got the 5 of them in King of the Ring here.
Yep. We got Chucky, Freddy, Jigsaw, Michael, and Jason. I already know who I'm picking for this, hands down. No competition.
Really? No competition?
No competition. Even though you would think they would have some, no competition. Now, in this scenario, we are putting them in a neutral environment.
So like a Hell in a Cell kind of thing.
Yeah, so a neutral environment. So Freddy can't do none of his dream shit.
Okay.
Jigsaw don't have access to all his booby traps and shit.
Okay.
It's just like you took all these motherfuckers, threw them in the back of a van, drove them out to a warehouse somewhere, and just opened them up and just let them fight.
Halloween Fight Club.
Right, pretty much. Pretty damn much. So they have no home court advantage, so Jason's not hiding in the woods. Michael's not in his basement or some shit.
I'm going to say Chucky.
Wow. That is underdog like a motherfucker. That is not what I thought you were going to say at all. Okay, so why? Why Chucky?
Chucky is good with a knife.
He is.
And in a situation where you have, 5 mega movie monster guys.
Sure.
Slashers. They're all known for being slashers.
Sure. So
in this warehouse scenario, we would have to have some kind of knives.
Sure. Oh, yeah, some weapons. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So my brain immediately goes to a Hell in a Cell wrestling match.
Okay.
There's a cage around the ring.
All right.
There's shit underneath the ring that you can use, and you can use the cage.
Mm-hmm.
But you're contained inside cage.
Right.
So with that mental picture in mind, that is why I say Chucky. Chucky is small.
Okay.
He is quick.
Okay.
He can climb very quickly.
That is true.
So if you got these people contained, Chucky can sneak under the ring, grab something, knife, screwdriver, whatever weapon of choice, sneak back up out of the ring, climb the top of the cage, and start jumping on people.
Which he is prone to do.
Yeah.
He'd jump on a motherfucker in a heartbeat. Yeah, that's true.
In the new movie, he reached up and stabbed some guy in the junk.
Mm-hmm.
So you got people bleeding out that way. You got people bleeding out from the neck. I just think that Chucky would be able to move quicker than the other 4.
That is true. Okay.
So I think that would be his quote-unquote superpower. That's how he would wrangle all 4 of these.
Okay.
He'd end up being the king because he's quick.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly for what ungodly reason where all the veins are.
Sure.
And he never misses a vein.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So, because every Chucky movie, you always see him, he slashes something and just blood squirts everywhere. So I would say Chucky.
I'm going to start backwards.
Okay.
I'm going to say who would be least likely to most likely.
Fair enough.
Least likely is Jigsaw.
Yep, he was my bottom of the list.
Jigsaw is the only person in the list who is just a straight up human. There's no undead, any superhuman strength, no dream powers, no possession of dolls. He's just a dude.
Just some old guy.
He's an old dude who's smart and has gadgets and shit, but without all the gadgets and shit and booby traps, he's just a dude. So Jigsaw immediately be the first one dead.
I agree.
Immediately. And he's got cancer and on his deathbed. So he's immediately gone. After that, the next person I would say would probably be Freddy.
Okay.
Freddy does have the claws, but again, without his dream powers, he's just a dude.
Useless, yeah.
And he's a bitch. Even with him being the god of dreams, he still gets his ass whooped in the dream. So in real life. That's why when that Freddy vs. Jason movie came out and they had him like going toe to toe with Jason, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Jason will whoop his bitch ass. So yeah, Freddy will be the next one to go.
See, Freddy vs. Jason had me up until the damn Freddy winked.
Oh, at the end?
Okay,
yeah, with
like,
the chopped off head.
Jason's holding his head, and he's got it, and he's got his, his machete, and he's just like, Jason won, hands down, cool. And then fucking Freddy winks, and I'm like,
yeah,
what shit is that?
I didn't like that either because I was like, now they're implying that he has powers outside of the dream,
right?
And shit, and I'm just like, wait, why is he still alive? I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jigsaw will be first, Freddy will be next. I would say
I can read your face. Like,
even though he's my favorite of the five, I would say Michael would probably be the next one to go.
Really? Not what I thought you were going to say,
Just
but okay.
Because Michael is strong, and Michael is deceptively quick because he does move slow.
Yes,
but he'd come up on a motherfucker so quick, you'd be like, "Oh shit!" and he'd just be stabbing and shit.
You're right.
So he's quick slow. He's squick. He's slick or quo. I don't know.
Slick quo. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, whatever.
But yeah, so but that being said, with all the attributes to Chucky that you said, I think that Chucky would be enough to keep Michael on his heels, and I feel like if Michael had to go against Chucky and one of the other ones, that would be enough to overwhelm him.
I think so as well. Because he only does well if he's like one-on-one with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you never see Michael go out and kill 3 people that are in a room together.
Right. Michael, like you said,
he focuses on one, and then he works to the second one, and then he works to the third one.
He's like a lion. Like, he stalks the gazelle, and then he goes after it when he sees an open opportunity.
Right.
He won't just walk up on a motherfucker in a group of people and start fucking killing them. Whereas
Jason might.
Yeah. So I'm gonna support all your arguments that you made for Chucky.
Okay.
For being number 2. For me, number 2. He
okay,
was your
fair
number
enough.
1. Jason would be my number 1, hands down.
Okay.
Jason.
So I mean, we kind of eliminated the others in the same order because I quickly thought about it backwards to forwards, and I was like, Jigsaw's going first. Freddy's going second, and then
it would be Michael and Chucky.
It would probably be Michael.
Yeah.
Just because Jason's got those weird supernatural things where he
Jason
is harder to kill.
Yeah, Jason is like a tank. And I said that before, and I meant it. Like, Jason, not only because he's big, but Jason can take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like, Michael can take a bullet and get hit by a car and all that shit too. But even though they make it seem at least like Michael is supernatural to some degree or another, like he can't die.
I don't think he really is.
Right, but depending on what like iteration and what timeline you're trying to follow.
True,
but
true.
It's never implied like Michael's undead.
Right.
Like it's implied that it's hard to kill him, but that he can be killed if you go hard enough. Like
you got to make sure he's dead.
Yeah, when they cut his head off until they made the next one, it was implied, okay, she chopped his head off, like he's like a zombie, like he's dead now.
Right.
Jason, it don't matter what the fuck you do to that motherfucker. He done been drowned, set on fire, blown up, chopped up into little pieces.
Frozen.
He done started, possessing other motherfuckers and shit. Like, Jason just will not die. That's why I feel like even if Chucky slit his throat and cut his heels all up and all that shit, he would still get back up and find a way to kill Chucky.
That's fair.
That's why...
That's fair.
I would say that... And the reason that I said that Jason, that he didn't win my most efficient is because even though he is a tank and he won't die, motherfuckers, I swear to God, there's always like 2 people in his movies that you thought he killed that is like, oh, I'm not dead. Hey, I'm here to help. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, Jason, like, what are you doing out here? Like, come on.
Right. Like with Chucky knows where the arteries are.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how, because the Charles Lee Ray was not some kind of doctor or anything.
No.
Wasn't any kind of medical, but he knows where them arteries and veins are.
Yeah.
Like, across your neck, across the back of your heels, in your inner groin. He knows.
And the reason, too, I would say Jason would win is because I feel Jason is the most versatile weapon-wise.
Yep.
Because, for the most part, Michael is pretty stuck on his knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might kill him off with a scalpel or a hammer or some shit here and there. Maybe a machete, maybe. But for the most part, a butcher knife is where he at. Jason will kill you with literally anything. Like, whatever he can reach and get, whether it be a blunt object or sharp, it don't matter what it is. Jason has killed people with pretty much anything that you can think of.
Killed them with a pencil.
Yeah, harpoons, bow guns, axes, machetes, knives, weed whackers, chainsaws, everything.
That's fair. I mean, it's been a while since I watched a Jason movie, so I guess I kind of I forgot about, like, how many iterations there are of him and how, like, and then cut his head off and he keeps going.
Yep.
So, I mean, that is a pretty even last battle there.
If I would say, that's why I put Chucky as my number 2, because if Chucky was in the ring with people who could be killed, yeah, they may be hard to kill.
Sure.
But they can be killed, then I would say, yeah, probably Chucky be number 1, because he is the most agile and quick and small and shit like that. But because Jason just will not stay dead,
you're right.
I'm like, no. Like, no matter what he would have did to him, Chucky would never have the firepower or the force to, like, do what would need to be done, which I would assume is
I'll
just
say,
like,
I don't know what would need to be done.
like, shatter him into a million pieces, then burn it all. Is the only thing I can imagine.
Guess.
Like, turn him into just dust. And even then,
the dust might possess somebody.
Right.
And...
Hey, breathe it in. I'm Jason now. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so, okay. So, going off of our categories. So, just to recap, we had 5 contestants. Jason, Michael, Freddy, Chucky, and Jigsaw.
Okay.
In our categories for highest body count, we had Jason, with Freddy as a runner-up, or at least potential for Freddy. Creativity, we had Jigsaw. Best killer, we had Michael, which Chucky was a runner-up.
Yep.
Most efficient was also Michael, and who would win was Jason. So we got 2 categories for Jason and 2 categories for Michael. Who are we going to crown the King of Halloween between Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers?
Oh, man.
Now, it's hard because Michael has the benefit of having Halloween in his franchise title.
True.
So it's like when you even say the word Halloween, it's hard
automatically
not to immediately think of Michael Myers. And he was the first slasher, so...
True.
You know, Jason didn't come till a few years later.
I think... And my reasoning's going to be a little on a whim here. But I'm going to say I would crown Michael. Not just because. He does have the 2 categories where, you know, he's got his name in the One Giant Leap for Geeks books.
Right.
He does have the title, Halloween. That... You can't even say the name of the movie without thinking about him. And also, this is what kind of put it over for me.
Okay.
When I'm at work, we've been kind of letting people decorate here and there, and maybe not most appropriate. It's slashers, Halloween, but whatever.
Sure.
The number 1 requested person, like, we can get pictures of and, things that they can color and decorate, draw, and whatever. The number 1 requested is Michael Myers.
Yep.
Number 1. Like, I spent 40 minutes looking for a picture of Michael Myers today, just to find the right one.
Right.
So I am going to say that our King of Halloween, for me, is Michael Myers.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm biased because, like I said before, Michael is my favorite slasher.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, for all the things that we've already talked about, for him being the most efficient,
Mm-hmm.
for him being the best killer, for, you know, like I said, his quick slow,
Mm-hmm.
you know, his body count, everything else. And the one element that put him over for me
Mm-hmm.
is them beats, though.
Yeah.
Michael Myers has the dopest killer soundtrack
He
of
does.
anybody on
You
this
right.
list.
You right.
If we were just going off that alone, he'd be number one.
Yep.
I mean, Jason got his little kill. Like, that's cool.
But it's no Halloween
But yeah,
theme.
no, Michael's got that dun, 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 ding, 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 dun, dun. Like, man, like, his whole thing,
Yeah,
ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, ding, ding. Like,
yep.
just, when John Carpenter put that soundtrack together, I don't even think he realized, like, how much that music,
It's iconic.
how much that did for that character.
Oh, yeah.
Because could you imagine Michael Myers without that music? Like, when you,
No.
even people that don't even watch horror movies, when you hear that ding, 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 you know that that's Michael Myers.
Mhm.
You, now, granted, if you hear the kill, kill, kill thing, you probably know that that's Jason too, but that's not really a song. It's just like a sound. It's like ambient noises and shit. Like, and then Michael has like multiple songs where it's like, okay, you know, like, okay, this is some Halloween shit.
Mhm. I agree. I totally didn't even think about the soundtrack. And you're right.
I almost made that a category, but I was like, nobody else has any music that I can even think of. Like,
No.
well, like what's Jigsaw sound? Nothing.
He does have a...
Does he?
Yeah, it's a distinct at the end of every...
Okay, but
But
not
I
something that
couldn't...
you could, yeah.
Yeah, I can't spit it out for you right
Exactly.
here.
Like,
So...
Chucky don't have a thing, not that I know of. Right.
Yeah,
No,
that's
like
Jason
Psycho
or something.
or some
Yeah,
shit.
I don't...
And
And you know what's funny?
Freddy really don't have shit.
Fuck Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is Chucky is my favorite
Mm-hmm.
out of this whole list.
Okay.
So out of the 5 that you compiled,
Uh-huh.
the slasher that I've always loved has been Chucky.
Okay.
Always. But, putting my biases aside,
Mm-hmm.
Michael definitely takes the category.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's... The holiday is Halloween.
Yeah.
The title of the category is King of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Even just reading that, I just think Michael Myers.
I know, and he is the only one that actually uses the holiday to his benefit.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is like, yes, there is a Friday the 13th, but that could be in the summertime, in the springtime, in the fall.
I want to say we've
winter.
had 4 of them this year.
Right. It
so
can be
far.
any time of the year, so it doesn't have like a permanent thing to where it's like, okay, you know, Friday the 13th, it's coming up like once a year. It can be any time of the year.
Right,
so
right.
it's never really all that special when it does happen.
And Chucky operates
Just whenever
the
right.
fuck he wants,
Freddy, same
like
way,
Christmas
Jigsaw,
time
same
and
way, right. So it's like there's nothing, you know, besides Michael that's directly linked to the holiday.
right.
You know, it's like he kills on Halloween. You know, it's like when he's out killing, there's always motherfuckers dressed up in Halloween costumes and shit, so it's hard to even know who he is.
I would say
in
there's
a crowd.
people dressed up as him
Exactly.
in the most recent one.
Exactly. So it's there was enough there to make Jason number 1, but like I said, that once I started thinking about the music, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be biased and just be like Michael, just because
Right.
I already like him the most. But
Well, yeah, I mean, you had to do like I did. I think that we approached this very fairly.
yeah, it was
you know,
fair.
there are Chucky movies that are garbage that
Yeah.
I still enjoy because they're Chucky.
Sure.
Not 2019, but we're not going to go there. Isn't that crazy? The most recent one is my least favorite.
It's
over the Seed of Chucky.
It's exactly what I thought it was going to be from the trailers, because when I was looking up the body count, I saw the thing where, like I said, was going to happen from watching the trailer, where he somehow takes over the other toys that are made by that company and are killing people in the supermarket. I was like, I knew it.
I was so mad that Mark Hamill didn't laugh.
I knew it.
Not once.
Oh, really?
Through the whole fucking movie.
Oh, wow.
You don't get the Joker laugh.
Again.
And I was so pissed.
Again,
like, that's all I wanted.
Another wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I was so mad.
Poor Mark.
There was, like I said, the guy with the rototiller thing, that was a pretty cool kill. And, like, the thing with Tupac is the kids are teaching... At first, you have to teach your buddy what you want it to do. So you have to teach it your schedule. You have to teach it how to say things. You have to teach it, like, movies to like and, you know, how to laugh and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And so with the Chucky, he's broken. And so all of his filters and shit aren't there. So that's why he can swear. He can kill things. He can do this. He can do that. He can be like an addictive personality. Mm. And the kids that he's around are like 13, 14.
Sure.
And so they teach the Chucky doll to say, this is for Tupac. And that's what they're trying to get at. Like okay. They're trying to get him to be violent and be like, this is for Tupac and this is that and whatever. And so that's how that whole thing come out.
That's actually kind of funny. Okay.
I mean, it was more funny than anything.
Yeah. It seems like they're kind of skewing more towards the humor.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't like that one, even over The Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, which Seed of Chucky?
And The Seed of Chucky is horrible.
The Bride of Chucky, all the of Chuckies.
I would say The Bride of Chucky is better than The Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, but once they drop the Child's Play and it's the of Chucky blank.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or the blank of Chucky. No.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope you guys had fun with that.
Yes.
I would love to hear your thoughts on who we chose for the King of Halloween. Is there anybody that you think that should have been in the contestant lineup that we did not pick? And do you agree or disagree with who we chose for the King? But other than that, that is it for the show. If you remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to show us some love, so take your little fingers and hit that like, subscribe, rate, review us, and all that shit.
And if you have any further comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, you just want to say hi or happy Halloween, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can also find us as a show on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. Myself, DJ Melly I am on Twitter at Froggy Beaver. And the show is on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. I am also on Instagram, so feel free. You can kind of find me through Twitter, I think. And, yeah, all you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye!